Okay, so here in this repurposed bin on the left is the light effects figure, and here on the right is the regular Anakin figure. And so biggest noticeable, let me just tweak this camera just a little bit. Biggest noticeable difference, of course, one of the biggest noticeable differences is that the clear plastic base here, definitely different. And then if you were to look at the sand pieces side by side, you can tell they were clearly resculpted, and the light effects piece itself is a bit thicker, and that again is to make room for this capacitor here. So I'm just going to scoot those out of the way here, so we can continue going up through. And so here are the two boots from the light effects. This is the one shoe has nothing to do really with the wiring, but here is the left shoe. This is the wiring runs through. And then if we were to take the same boot and kind of hold them side by side here, you can notice that there is a very small difference in that the light effects boot itself is actually elongated a little bit. Again, it's hard. I'm going to try to take some decent pictures and put a gallery together on the site itself. But so we've got that. So then the light from that runs up through the legs. And so here's the non-FX legs, and here is the light effects legs. And again, the pose is just ever so slightly different, a little bit shorter. This leg here is a little bit thicker and shorter. I don't know if it's to make the pathway for the wire less tight with tight moves, holes and whatnot. But you can see there's the little channel here for the wire that ran through, and that channel is missing and void. So I think maybe they made the pieces thicker because they didn't have the opportunity to make bigger anchors. The anchors had to be half the size. So in certain joints, because the anchors had to be half the size, they had to go a little crazy in stacking up in the thickness department. And so here are the two Anakin torsos. The one on the left is the light effects torso. The one on the right is not. And if we look here at the bottom, you can see the channel that they had to run right in there for the light effects wiring. And then if we turn it a little bit, whoop, here goes the piece. We turn it just a little bit and look here at the sides of the torso. You can see that the channel that they had for the wiring versus it's missing there. Otherwise, the sculpts are just a little bit bigger. I mean, just ever so slightly bigger, and they're very, very noticeable when the whole figure is together. But when you're just looking at the pieces themselves individually, they're not so stand out. Here are the arms with the bare hands on them. Nothing changed there really when you're comparing the two side by side. And then we'll look at the arm that holds the saber. And so again, the one on the left is light effects. Obviously it's got a wire running out of it, and the one on the right is not. And you can see that the arm is definitely a bit thicker there with that. They definitely did a little bit of a resculpt, making it a little bit thicker. Again, it might have to do with the fact that the joints themselves didn't have as large of pegs to glue into each other. They had to hollow those out and make them half the size, and so with that they probably had to thicken them up just to get some more surface area for the glue to come in contact. And then the biggest difference really is the lightsaber. And so we've got the regular saber here on the right, and on the left is the light effects saber, and again it's in two pieces versus the regular saber, which is only in one piece here. So they had to scale up pretty much everything about the saber in order to make room for the LED, and there's the channel there at the bottom for the LED to just slide right in there and sit, and had a little hole there, and then this piece didn't fill up the entire space leaving some room for the wiring and the LED. So that there, but yeah, so there you go. There's the big big differences in the resculpting and the pieces for the figure. So do a little bit of pick up the camera here and kind of do like an overhead shot. Move the lighting a little bit around. There you go. So there are the two Anakins, all torn apart, side by side, light effects and regular. You can see very, very small details, but the changes had to be done in order to make all the room and get it where it needed to be, so it could be a cool, cool side by side. You know, one with light effects. It had to be done. Had to be bumped up just a little bit. I would say the differences between the pieces are maybe, you know, just 10% larger in some areas. That's all it is. But when you add it all up and you add the 10%, the pieces get taller. They get a little bit, you know, moved. And but you know, when you're looking at each of the individual pieces, the changes aren't that obvious. But they're there. They're subtle. So thanks for watching, folks. Visit us at DisneyInfinityCodes.com.